Hello, my name is Fai Chen, and it is time for us to have a friendly chat on YouTube. And you know that I rarely speak English because I always think that my English is just on an ESL level. So, but I don't want to improve because everyone's brain functions differently on processing language. For me, I'm a very artistic person, and I have, certain. I have, when my mind function in language, it's just like, that I compose a piece of music. So if like in English, if there are something that is out of tone, and then my mind cannot understand, and it takes me a long time to learn, and to apply, and so that's why my language is always the hardest part of my life. So I just want to let you know that my English is just an ESL level, but anyway, I decided to use English to do this video to do this video. And what I want to talk about, I think, I want to talk about my side business, and I signed up for an insurance group, that because my friend, I joined that group at the very beginning because I want to learn how the big beautiful bill will impact the health insurance policies. This is very important because this may affect my research topics. So I think I should understand more. So I joined an insurance group to learn more about this, so that I can understand the market more, and how the producers are responding to the big beautiful bill, and how the general public are responding, because I'm not just in like medical research, or or any healing protocol research, but I'm more on business side too. And I need, as a blogger, I need to have something new to talk about. So sometimes I need to be a spy, to do something, so, but this is for my job requirement only. And so, but my friend, who is also a member there, told me that I should try, to see if this is actually can like increase my passive income, or maybe this is the career that I want to pursue. So I also joined, to learn the financial product information, and how to be, how to conduct a presentation, and how to prospect. And very luckily, at the first month, at the month, in previous months, and then I recruited three. They run a G. They are running. Actually, they are running. They were running a GX. And then that means you need to recruit three people, and then you need to achieve certain business goals or business sales. So, but anyway, I successfully recruited three new people. So I'm on the top list, top number one, of the list that, they showed. And then my name was on the number one, because at that time I was a TA only. That means a trainee only. But I achieved that anyway. But I think this is not too hard for me, because in Hong Kong, when I was in Hong Kong, I worked in a headhunters firm, so I already know how to headhunt people. And so when I was in this, I moved to this industry, and then actually it's very easy, because I have been sales in my life, and I have been a hunter in my life. So it is very easy that I can, successfully recruit people, and then I haven't made any sales yet, but I think when I get the license, if I want to, yeah, when I get the license, I will be able to do business successfully. Because all this year I have built my foundation very firm and stable. So it's just for me to harvest what I have been doing, all these years. And frankly speaking, people nowadays only believe in someone who is successful and who can prove that they are successful and continuously successful with a strong financial background. They are more, intend to trust these kinds of people, in their everyday decision making. So if you sell a plan, and I think this is of a long-term plan, you are talking about you put the money for 10 to 15 years or 20 years. And then you need someone that you can trust to put your money in because, there may be, in the worst case, there are many things that can happen. So you will choose the one that can give you confidence. That means, first, he or she has a high social status. Second, he or she continuously prove that their financial background or financial situations is very good. And third, they have track record, and you can check from the very beginning to now that they are successful and, maybe they have vision, and then, they realize their vision, and then how they carry out things and then successfully accomplish something. So based on these three, and then you made your decision, whether to use that person and, buy from that person. I think I have some, advantage of this, and actually I want to be in my life, and then I will open a bank myself. So, but anyway, I'm accumulating my, my capital. Hopefully one day I can open a bank myself. And then I want to be a media tycoon, like I said, in the media. So I think I will start doing this year. And I already actually picked some people that could help me to do very well, in this area. So it just depends on how much I can pay them and how, so that they can turn in how much work. Turn in the amount of work that I want. And as for my publication, actually, I already have, I think 10 or 15 on hands that I can, publish. So in these 10 years, I think, or 5 to 10 years, I think I'm still very fine and won't be replaced by AI, hopefully. And I want to talk about, actually, some AI consultants did contact me, and then we did have some conversations, and so that they talk about how they are going to offer me, like, if I making like 1 million, they can make me make like 3 to 4 million. If I told them like my thoughts before, before anything, coming out, I told my thought beforehand, so that the AI can use my thought, and then the blah 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 blah. But I just think that although the money wise it is very good, but if I do so, I'm thinking that, there may be more people losing their jobs as a result. So I think this is not a right time to do this kind of thing, because, in our industry, in the medicine industry, they are facing a lot of changes or transformation, as the AI can be replacing a lot of human powers. I'm an inventor. I won't say that I'm an innovator, but I'm an inventor. So I am at a very safe place, compared with others that do detailing. Because for detailing, I heard what he said, what that person said, the consultant told me. And then I'm thinking, actually, I can use his ideas and then I run the details myself. Then I don't need to have any collaborators. But is this the best way to do just for the sake of I will get more money in the end? But although I'm not a person that so I actually don't like the idea of AI, but the AI can help me to communicate better with my audience. But shall I pay such a big amount just to communicate better with my audience? And then the result is many people will lose their jobs because they can search through AI engine and then the AI app or something like that and then get the answer. But that answer should be provided by, professional instead in the past. So after consideration, I think this is still not the right time to do this until everything is very stabilized and we can predict things correctly, how this will affect the livelihood of so many people. And we don't know the government will take care of those who lose their jobs or lose their life skills because of my decision. So I think I'm a conservative person, and I don't like to have big changes in my life. I just want a stable life that I have something in the past that happened that I can follow, and it's the best and stable life of me, because I'm just a female. I don't need to make a lot of money, and I don't need to be too aggressive in my life. And so I just think that this is not the right way to do so yet, for me. So I will keep things as is, and I will use collaborators, and I have collaborating labs, that help me to do the detailing. And I think this is the best way to go at this moment until, one day I change my mind and then, something happened. I think this should be a very transformative experience for the humankind. So everybody is safe, at this part. And because I think I have many revelations for myself too. And I find that, actually in my clinical work, there are more RA cases now. What is RA? RA is called rheumatoid arthritis. And then there are more arthritis, rheumatoid RA cases. But the best part of medicine is, it is always in advancement. In about 2020 or 2020, when my first paper published, there is no such thing as like IV injection for the RA patients. And at that time, they just take pills, and some pills may, even hurt. I have a friend who took pills for many years, and then in the end, she had a pancreatic cancer, and she died of pancreatic cancer. But at that time, because there was some advancement in oncology treatment already, so her life actually got better life quality. And at the same time, her life lived longer than, those people, who like in the past, like in 10 years ago, who had the pancreatic cancer. Because my aunt, one of my aunts had pancreatic cancer, and then, she did a surgery of bypassing, something, and then, she just wait for her death to come, and she only could live. The doctor told her that she could live for 6 months, but she lived for a year. But that year, it was a very painful experience for her. But at the time of my friend, actually, she did experience pain, but it's more controllable. And actually, her quality of life was much better than my aunt. Even when she died, she died in peace, instead of my aunt that she died in horrible situation or horrible condition. So the advancement, in medicine made people, live better, and then, and can be died of comfort to a certain extent. Not to mention that now, everything has changed so much, when compared to 2020. Like in RA, and recently had a RA patient, and then he received the IV. He received the IV, and then the IV did improve the symptoms of pain. And then he said that he hasn't experienced any pain, but except that some parts are swollen, and he has some kind of also have some bone issue, but it's normal to have bone issue because RA and the bone are closely related. And but apparently he hasn't had any symptoms, but his symptoms very deep inside. So in the first treatment, I took a picture, and and gave him to take a look, and he never thought that his condition is like that. But I told him that he has some some deep issue that is very deep inside, and although the IV did help him to relieve pain, but he can feel that he has swollen, some parts swollen, and then misalignment of the bones. But I told him he has misalignment of the bone, but he feel it anyway. I told him because he felt it, then he felt it. So a doctor, I told him actually at the first consultation that he has some, the shrinking nerves, and then his wife becomes so concerned about this, and she took him to see another doctor, and the doctor told them that this is very normal because you are aging. When you are aging, the nerve shrinks. That's very normal. And then the doctor actually referred him to have physical therapies, because I think physical therapies does help actually. And then because when you have a joint issue or something like that, you cannot maintain your posture very correctly, and then so that's how physical therapy is going to help you to remind you to maintain your posture correctly. But that doesn't resolve all the issues. And then he has massage therapy, but you do the massage therapy just for the general stuff. It's not as deep as some kind of the treatment protocol. And so the thing I'm adding is helping him to get out the inflammation deep inside, and hopefully the inflammation deep inside will goes away, and in 3 to 5 times he will be able to take care of himself, and he can only come like once in 3 months. And I think he will be doing fine because he is not a complicated case, and he tried every method like the physical therapy and visit the doctor for IV injection, massage therapy, and then I'm just doing what these three cannot do. So I'm confident that he should be okay. But if you face something like this, your formulation is very important because that really, affect how he feel, how he experience. You need him to experience the difference and how you can add value to him instead of the three, instead of the three what they are doing, and then you can do something extra and that really helps him. Or maybe help him to resolve what they cannot help him, and so this is very important. So you need to have some formulations that give him the immediate consciousness that there's something happening, that only you can do it, and you can do it well, and then you can complement what the three therapists or three medical professionals that he's seeing or visiting. So I use 3 formulation at that treatment, but I think and I told him to move his upper back, and then he can move it freely just like a normal person. So I think he's good, and I asked him to keep a journaling. He need to do a journaling because doing a journal and not actually is very different. And next time I will bring a journal book to him to do journaling. And then I will check with him. And this is very important because I need to keep it to be informed so that I can tell what I can do or cannot do, or what others, how to complement what others are doing, because it's not good that you tell him to tell others to change 1 2 3. And so I think I try to be complementary treatment. So when you face a rheumatoid arthritis person, you can try to do this. And in 2020, I mostly use cupping, and I use Grosso and rosemary alpha pendant as a blend. And I also use a minty cream, to relieve the heat. But the weather is getting cold, and maybe they are not too hot already. And when the inflammation, was brought to the surface by cupping, actually a mild one will be okay. And he is doing IV already. IV actually give you some kind of coolness and coldness, so already reduce the body temperature to a certain point. So the mint cream may not be as useful as the time that I'm using. So you can see that with the advancement in conventional medicine, actually, as natural healer, and then we are changing the way that we are dealing with this, and not to copy the same thing all the way through, and then to apply to it. It still helps, but the experience are different, and they may not receive the maximum result. So I think I do make the changes too, and then the first time I only do the cupping for 2-3 minutes because I want to see his response and reactions first before I extend my time like to 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So I think uh, I think this person will receive a very good, treatment from three of us and from four of us, and then each one can contribute something different. But I told him that my goal is to sustain the results instead of he's just having the good results for 1 or 2 days and then everything bad coming back again. So it takes some work to do, so he needs to do the journaling. And hopefully in 3 to 5 times things will get resolved. Let's see what happened, and then I will keep you all updated about this. So this is a more challenging thing for me, and I also made some discovery on radiation or infrared sauna or the red light therapy. So I think this will give us a better understanding of why something may not be undesirable happens, and that can actually have a far-reaching result that we overlooked all the time, because we always focus on what is good, and we never mention or we never discovered what is not good. But that is very important in the treatment process. Another thing that I discovered is the diabetic food. So I think this should be a breakthrough. And sometimes in the traditional Chinese medicine, they will ask you to do a food soak. But why sometimes food soak is not working, or maybe making something works. It's not the method that they are using are wrong, or the temperature control of the water is wrong. But there are some limitations on using the food soak that haven't been discussed yet. And another thing is, my mother-in-law actually, and you all know that she experienced Alzheimer's, but anyway, she's getting very good now, and she has some venous issue, and then that has some kind of cyst developing. I think she has 10 to 11, something like cystic thing developing on the vein. But she called it a vein issue. She is a pharmacist. She was a pharmacist in the past, so she said that this was something related with the vein. But anyway, today when I check it and I did some treatment on her leg, because she said that her leg is getting tighter. That's normal, because in the aging process, your nerves will become more tightening, and then will be shrinking. So from time to time you need to stretch and massage it or something like that. There are some special skills to use, and then you need to use some blend to help, and then they make it going back to normal stage. So this is the elderly care. In elderly care, this is very important. Shrinking of nerve is unavoidable for everyone who has been in the aging process. But anyway, today I found that her vein issues all disappeared. So her skin and the muscles, everything is back to normal, including her nerves. This is a bit magic to me. Even to me, this is a bit magic, because at the very beginning, I treated a person with this problem, but it's was less severe many years ago, but I used red light therapy to help. And she needs to come, regularly, and then, to sustain the results. But this time, she completely recovered. I didn't do too much thing on her, but still regularly, like a month or like a month, like a month in a month, once in a month, I do something, on her. But it takes years, to completely eradicate all this. And of course, she was happy because she has a beautiful leg. She has beautiful legs. And but this, I learned so much. This is related something, to our brain, building blocks. I believe because she just take all these, for the brain needs instead of caring for the body needs. Sometimes our brain needs and body needs are different. So how are you going to choose if this happen? If you can only choose either one. So I wrote an article actually in Chinese and I posted it in Hong Kong, and then I mentioned that, having diabetes is not a happy thing in your life, but the happening of this may make you able to escape the happening of Alzheimer's. So when this happens, how are you going to choose? You want to have a diabetes or you want to have Alzheimer's? If this is a either one. So her case reaffirmed what I believe and what I told in a conference. Actually, what I have been talking about is perfectly and precisely correct. And I think I thought about this and I raised this out in the conference because I see this difference is what our brain needs and then what our body needs can be different. So when this happens, how are you going to balance it or make things, perfect, both for the brain and for the body? This is very hard to achieve, by natural healing. Because you need receptors, the manipulation of receptors to achieve this, and only the conventional medicine can help to achieve this. So when you have this problem, there is a dichotomy. And then, you need conventional medicine to help you. So do not just exclusively, do not just, think that conventionals is always bad. Sometimes when there is side effect, there are side effects, you still need to take the conventional medicine because of this. This is not compulsory that you need to do, but you can think and, explore this maybe in your profession. Whether, you want, when this happens, how are you going to do and what are you going to do? And in what ways do you think it is better? And yeah, today I just want to talk about something more related to healing, and hopefully, because I receive many requests to talk about healing and something like that. So in the next section, we will talk about something that is more maybe relaxing, or maybe we can combine with some healing and, daily life stuff. So I'm going to see you next time. So think about what I've talked about, and sometimes something is very magic or mystic, but it doesn't mean that it's not the truth. Okay.